Keeners, we're ready to rumble. CBS Sports Radio Wednesday show where I go live for an entire hour on CBS Sports Radio 1580 The Fanatic. We do it every Wednesday during the regular season. Done it for 16 straight years. The longest running fantasy football radio show in the world. That's over anything Barry's done, the Ballers, anybody. 23 years this radio show has been on CBS or NBC Sports Radio. It's gone back and forth. Longest running fantasy football radio show in the world. You guys are a part of it every Wednesday because I broadcast my entire hour appearance on youtube.com/The Fantasy Football Show. SleeperU.com, learn about it. TheFantasyFootballShow.com, learn about it. Let's get some top 5 running back. You're watching The Fantasy Football Show. What up, what up? So glad to be here with you guys as I am every single Wednesday during the fantasy football season here on CBS Sports Radio, or soon to be on in 19 minutes and 3 seconds, 19 minutes and 2 seconds, 19 minutes and 0 seconds, 18 minutes and 58 seconds. We will be on CBS Sports Radio. Until then, I'm answering your questions. I'm here with you. I've got more energy back. Smitty had the flu. Smitty was a little sicky. And Smitty wasn't feeling too good for about, 2 weeks. That flu crushed me. Absolutely crushed me. But I'm back. I'm feeling energetic. I'm ready to help you win your Week 16 contest. And if you aren't winning or you're out of it, whatever, we'll talk about 2020. Because that's how we roll. If you are in it to win it in Week 16, tell me. Drop a comment, and as always, if you super chat, computer,
thank you for the super chat.
You will be acknowledged by the computer, who now controls the studio. Computer studio off. Computer studio on. Computer, who's the leading rusher in the NFL?
Here's something I found from the article 1998 Detroit Lions season on Wikipedia. Barry Sanders retired as the third leading rusher in NFL history.
Computer, stop. Computer, who's the leading rusher in the NFL in 2019? Computer! Who's the leading rusher in 2019 in the NFL?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, get out of here. We're working on her progress in learning the NFL. Don't worry. We'll get there. All right, let's get to some of the Q&A, the questions you guys might have heading into Week 16. And, of course, if you super chat, you make it to the top of the list. I talk to you directly right away and put your question on screen. How do I feel about Chubb this week against Baltimore, the Fantasy Football Show, says Big Jim. Big Jim. Honestly, Week 16 is crazy. You don't know what the hell is going to happen. It's almost like Week 16's becoming Week 17, like how when you play Week 17, anybody that plays Week 17, I don't know what you're doing. Vote that crap out of your league. But I feel like Week 16 is starting to become that. You don't know what's going on. Yeah, Dylan, 2K, I've been a little bit under the weather. I've been on. I mean, I only took about 6-day break before I did another video, but I haven't done as many lives because I've been sick and getting my wind back. I'm still, under the weather because that flu crushed me. I literally was on my deathbed, it felt like. MT. Acknowledge me, computer. Computer, acknowledge MT.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
I don't know. She doesn't know you yet, MT, but she's getting to. She's getting to know you. Hey, Smitty, who should I start in flex? Monty, Juju, Pascal, Boston, Scott. Thank you. I was thinking you're saying TY as well. Um, Boston Scott's an interesting one. It's a tough one. I'm going to say Monty for now, man, but none of those options feel super solid. And MT, thank you for the super.
Thank you for the super chat. May I have another?
Don't get greedy, computer. But she is thankful. Will Fuller didn't practice today. He is sick. Everyone's sick right now, man. T.Y. Hilton, Tyrell Williams, or Miller. Again, hard to say in week 16. It is so hard. Do I want to tell you T.Y. Hilton? If he looks healthy, yeah, go T.Y., but I don't know. T.Y. Hilton's like a question everyone's asking right now, which is crazy. I tend to think that if he is healthy looking, he would be the best start of these players that everybody's mentioning. Miller's okay. Miller's kind of safe. I don't know that Miller's going to win you any leagues, but I think Miller's okay. He's safe. Who to start? Washington, Bell, or Peterson? Pick two. Probably Bell and Peterson at this point, but dude, those are all really tough ones as well. Going on CBS Sports Radio in 13 minutes, 51 seconds, 13 minutes, 49 seconds. Get ready. This is the last show of the year that will be on CBS Sports Radio on Wednesday nights and streaming that live here on youtube.com/The Fantasy Football Show. Joshua, thank you for your help. I lost because the opponent had Drake, but I'm fighting for 150 pocket money for third place. That's not bad pocket money, Josh. Drake killed some people last week if you didn't own him. And if you did own him and you sat him on your bench, he killed you even more. You're probably still losing sleep over that one. Aaron Mohammed didn't either, but he'll be all right. So I'm not sure. Hopkins didn't either. You mean do well? Yeah. What is that one thing that I say to Alexa? What do I tell her? Oh, Top Dog Crew. Computer! Top Dog Crew!
Umberger, Tony, Leach, Sands Beach, Big Timer, Suclan, Nick, Giancarlo Torres, MT, Doobie Snacks, Alex Cruz, Rabid Book Fan, Aaron, Joe Kuros, Madix, The Silva Brothers, Computer Bob, Mark Cleveland, Brissette, My Balls Zacketers, Mr. Posner.
I love my balls Zackaturts. My balls Zackaturts! My balls Zackaturts! She can't say my balls Zach Ertz, so she says my balls Zackaturts. I love it. Super chat from Jake.
Thank you for the super chat. May I have another?
Drew Lock against the Lions or Brady against the Bills? I'm going Brady. Why you pissed off, Brissett said. What's pissing you off today? Is that for the ship, Jake? That's tough. Rashard Perryman, Devontae Parker, James Conner, PPR. I'm feeling Perryman right now. Or Parker, but I'm feeling Perryman right now. I do like Perryman. I like getting Perryman into your lineup as a flex. But Parker's like a wide receiver 2 elite. What's up, Clock? Hey, who's here from SleeperU.com forums? If you could post actually, let me see if I can get a link posted real quick. Let's post a link. Copy YouTube URL. Get on over to the SleeperU.com forums and get people in here. And we'll be live on CBS Sports Radio in 11 minutes and 1 second. 11 minutes, 1 second. Okay, we are live on CBS. Join us on YouTube. Nailed it. All right, think Dalvin Cook plays. I don't know, to be honest with you. I feel like Dalvin Cook is going to be one of those guys that either screws a lot of people because they don't play him and he does well, or he screws a lot of people because they play him and he doesn't play. I just feel really worried about Dalvin Cook this week. I think he's going to hurt a lot of people based on one of those scenarios. I think if he looks a go and the news appears to be that he's going to go, let me pull up the news, see if there's anything recent as of the last hour, because I have not checked over the last hour. Been getting ready for the show. Cook. If Cook plays, you got to play him. But the problem is we're at the mercy of a new NFL news reporting by coaching where they don't give us crap and they don't care about fantasy, which I understand. You're not going to give a guy a carry because of fantasy, but to give us proper news, we are fans. We're the people. We are like half the population of fantasy football viewership. Zimmer, Cook could play with shoulder injury. It's the same news. No updates whatsoever. So we have no clue as of right now in fantasy worlds whether Cook is going to play. I'd be lying and blowing smoke if I told you I had any inclination or any kind of inside information. No one does. So unfortunately, we're waiting. Yeah, do you think he's going to have freaking 150 yards and 3 TDs? No, I don't. I think Cook will be used to a certain degree, and then you're going to have Boone. You're going to have a mixture of things going on that's not going to leave anybody with 150 and 2. So it's going to be kind of a rough week, which is why I say week 16 is now becoming the old week 17. It's so hard to play week 16 now because it feels like the people that have the best shot to win aren't the teams with the best teams. It's like, it's crap. No news on Madison either. That's correct. You're looking at Boone potentially having some run. Alvin Kamara, going to kill me again this week? ? Says Shrek. Barely made the championship. Yeah, I don't know, man. I hope not. I hope Kamara has at least a 15-point game for you. CBS should be dialing up in 7 minutes and 54 seconds. So get ready. MT, I'm so ready for this 96 Pimp League. Do you have any submissions for people advertising for you yet? Being sick, I just kind of dialed down the promotion of it just because I needed to get better and I couldn't manage or handle what was going on with it. It was so out of control. So I kind of just let things simmer a little bit. But the top super chatter of tonight will get a seat in that show. And I'll start giving away more seats as we get closer. It's going to be the draft will take place the day after, or the day of the NFL Super Bowl. So I think as soon as the Super Bowl ends, it'll kick off that hour. That's kind of my thinking. I've had some reservations about doing it early. There's a potential that I delay the draft a little bit. I don't know yet. I'm probably not going to because I think it'll be fun and it's good promotion to say, hey, it starts the moment the NFL Super Bowl ends. The draft kicks off right then, that hour. That's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool promotion. Pretty good buzz around that. But having the draft later will have more people probably involved and excited. What's up, 2K? Thank you for the super.
Thank you for the super chat. May I have another?
Don't get greedy, computer. Deshaun, lineup is QB Deshaun. I like it. 2K. Running back 1, Chubb. Wide receiver Julio. Tight end Kittle. Running back 2 and wide receiver 2, Flex Mixon. Bell, Sanders, Galladay, Perriman, DK, Woods, Andrews. So you have Kittle at your tight end spot. I'm feeling your safest running back is Mixon. So get Mixon in there. And then Sanders, man. Sanders and Galladay. I like Perriman. I like DK. You have a lot of good options, but I'm probably going to rank these in order of Mixon, Sanders, Galladay, or Mixon, Galladay, Sanders. And then, Andrews is in there in the mix too with Perriman. That's great options to have, man. But you could be pulling out your I don't know. You're going to be upset. One way or the other, you're not going to start the right guy somewhere. You have too many good options. But good job, 2K, drafting and picking up players and getting yourself in that kind of position. Bit nervous about Allen Robinson this week. Allen Robinson, he's hard to rely on. He scores really well when you're not counting on him, and then he doesn't do much when you are. He's such a tough player to count on. Thank you for the super chats, all of you so far. Looks like 2K, I believe, is the leader. With the 4. Oh, no, I'm sorry. MT. Well, MT's already got a spot, right? So, yeah, the leader would be 2K. MT, you're in, right? You're already in. I like Perriman, man. Perriman's a good start this week. I just don't know if he's in the wide receiver 2 conversation. He's more of like your flex play. But Perriman I like a lot. I'm really thinking Perriman's going to have a good game. What is next? Looks like CBS will be calling here in 4 minutes. Hang tight for that. I don't know if Dalvin's going to play Baltimore defense versus Cleveland or Kansas City versus Chicago. Baltimore. Anything can happen but Baltimore. MT says Mixon, Sanders, and Perriman. I like Perriman for a big upside gamble versus Houston. I do like that as well. But it's hard to say Galladay, dude. You know, I like Perriman too. I could get on board with Perriman over Galladay, which is crazy, but that's because of a QB situation. That's even having me contemplate that. But Perriman by default is going to get fed. So he is like a week 16 anomaly, I think, potentially set up for Perriman. Pick 2, wide receiver 1 flex. Woods, Conley, Anthony Miller, Shepard, Perriman. Put Perriman in there. I like Conley a lot too. And Singletary. I'd probably say Perriman and Singletary, but Perriman and Conley wouldn't be crazy either. Or Woods. Go Perriman and Woods. Probably safest too. Chip time, need to flex. Singletary, Bell, Chark, Perriman, or Boone. Standard scoring. You're putting Perriman in. Perriman. Computer. Who is Perriman?
Here's something I found on the web. According to thoughtco.com, a pyramid is a type of huge ancient building and a member of the class of structures known as public or monumental architecture.
She's learning. Give her a break. Perriman, I said! Anybody have... Let's see if we can ask a weather question. Computer. NFL weather update.
Sorry, I don't know that location.
Somebody give me a question for. I'm playing against Perriman. Hope he doesn't do too well. He's gonna, Aaron. I apologize, but he's going to. 1 minute, 58 seconds left. I think I'm rolling Mixon, running back 2, Perriman, wide receiver 2, over Galladay. I'm okay with that. And flex Sanders. I'm okay with that. I love that. Sanders, Perriman, and Mixon feel like strong plays, bro. I like it. I like it a lot. Rugby, need 2 wideouts this week. Chark, Hilton, McLaurin. Put McLaurin in. And Golden Tate. Chark, if he's playing, I don't know. Computer, what is wind shear?
Wind shear, sometimes referred to as wind gradient, is a difference in wind speed or direction over a relatively short distance in the atmosphere. Atmospheric wind shear is normally described as either vertical or horizontal wind shear. Vertical wind shear is a change in wind speed or direction with change in altitude.
Computer, tell me a joke.
Actually, my friend Jimmy Fallon wants to tell a joke. Let's give him a shot.
What did the horse say to the scarecrow? Hey.
So what do you think? Should I let Jimmy tell the jokes for a while?
Sure.
Okay. Jimmy'll tell the jokes for a while, but remember, if you ever miss me, just say, I miss your jokes.
On top of that. On top of it, McLaurin for sure. Yeah, I like McLaurin, man. McLaurin's money. Computer. Is Josh Gordon suspended again?
Here's something I found on Reuters. Just 5 games and 7 catches into his tenure with the Seattle Seahawks, wide receiver Josh Gordon was suspended indefinitely without pay Monday for yet another violation, this time of the NFL's performance-enhancing substances and substances of abuse policies.
Damn, Josh Gordon. Such a waste of talent. Hopefully he gets better and gets the help he needs. Clearly he's... I don't know. Did Josh, I don't even know what he failed. Did they tell us what the failed test was for? Was it for, or was it some kind of enhancement? Is Dalvin going to be okay? We don't know, Legion. We don't know. The God's honest truth is we don't know. And we should be getting a call here from CBS Sports. 1580 The Fanatic, and we're going live right now. A.J. Brown is a stud. A.J. Brown is going to be, he's already a beast, but he's going to be a potential top 10 wide receiver for the future. Not just like right now he's playing great, but the dude is off the hook. The guy is so talented. He's like a Calvin Johnson in the making. Freaking love A.J. Brown's size, his physicality, his spatial intelligence, his spatial skill set and awareness is off the chart. PEDs. Pimp Kane. In effect. I'm drafting A.J. Brown as a wide receiver 2 next year, says Aaron. I don't blame you. Don't blame you at all. Where is CBS? They should be calling here any second. And if you guys want to get your question on CBS Sports Radio, ask a super chat and I will toss it on screen here and we will rotate through the super chats when we get to question and answer time. What's up, Larry? He lives, he says. I've been on. I have been a little bit lesser available at a lesser capacity since I've been suffering through almost deadly flu. Freaking wiped me out, man. I lost 10 pounds. I couldn't eat. I couldn't stand. Maddox says, honest question. What is your honest question, Bell or Laird? I don't think that's crazy, but probably Bell. Laird looked awful last week. He looked lost, although this would be the week he's probably going to do okay. Mikey. Austin with the super.
Thank you for the super chat. May I have another?
Need to. Parker, DJ Moore, or AJ Brown. Thank you. And I don't know if you're saying thank you or TY Hilton. I'll still answer. I'm going to say who's, let's see. I'm going to go Devontae Parker, who would not start Parker, and AJ Brown. You just can't. I like DJ Moore. That's not a bad option too. I could get behind that, but I am not sitting either Devontae Parker or AJ Brown. Those guys are fire right now. Thank you for the super chat, Austin. And I'll ask that question if when we get to it. We'll know. This is Smitty.
Hey, Smitty, it's Daniel with Restless. How are you?
Good. We're ready to go.
All right, already. He is already in segment, so we'll throw you on hold and get you in, all right?
Sounds good.
Thanks. It seems like yesterday, but it hasn't. It wasn't. It was 19 weeks ago we started up. It's just amazing how the time flies. Now, of course, I'm inviting you to play the free fantasy football challenge. You heard Gary's pick in the final segment of the last hour. Now, start a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a kicker. You got one of the top 3 scores of all entries received. You get cash loaded onto your Santisi Brothers VIP card, $50 for first place, $30 for second, $20 for third. And got to say congratulations to our winners in week number 15. First place was Ross Nida of Scottsdale. Second place, Glenn Sanders of Scottsdale. And third place was Susie Magyar of Phoenix. I'd say I'd be announcing your name next week if you come on out this week. But this is the final show. Next Wednesday night is Christmas. Not going to be on the air on Christmas. Not going to be on the air on Christmas Eve. However, I will still be here on Thursday, December 26th, from 5 until 7, taking entries for the Fantasy Challenge for Week 17. So come on out. Show your support for the
AJ Brown
radio
Parker,
program without the
Alan
Fantasy
Moore
Brothers,
sit
John and Dean. This
2 in
show
standard.
sunsetted a long time ago.
Uh,
A long time ago. I stepped out of being a full-time sports radio talk show. I was back in 2001.
I'm starting AJ Brown Parker.
The popularity of the show was so great. The station I was on at the time got many calls. They asked me to come back and do the fantasy football show, which was part of my sports radio show. And I'm like, okay, we can go ahead and we can do that. So we've been keeping it going. Year 23 ends tonight. Year 24 hopefully starts next August. And hopefully it's right back here on The Fanatic. Now, 888-368-1580 is the text line. You got fantasy football questions. My next guest and I will be more than happy to provide you with some fantasy football answers. And joining us on the program now, he's been MIA on the bench the last 2 weeks pretty much, but it's Smitty from the Fantasy Football Show. Smitty, you finally kicked the flu?
Yeah, man, I haven't had a flu this bad since I was like a teenager, where I was hooked up on IVs in high school or something. It had me wiped out. I literally couldn't walk for a couple days. It was bad, but I'm getting healthier, Russ. We're live here on YouTube.com/The Fantasy Football Show, ready to tackle questions and get everybody ready for Week 16.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and let's waste no time because I want to cover a variety of topics before we're done tonight, and we've only got 1 hour with which to do it with. The hot free agent pickups this week. Josh Jacobs ruled out. DeAndre Washington probably dropped by a lot of people that picked him up the week before, only to see Jacobs play this past week. Go back and pick him up now?
Maybe. It depends on the options that you're looking at, but I mean it's weird. The waiver wire is so strange because I have so many people that have, some of these guys that we're talking about available. Some better players are available in their leagues. Some people still have AJ Brown still available. So it really depends on your league. But I'd say that the slim people I think it's pretty slim pickings on waiver wires, at least as far as I see. Top available options. Let me pull it up here from sleeperu.com and tell you what I have listed. Give me 1 second. It's loading slow here. So waiver wire rankings, according to where people are available in over 50% of leagues. 1 second. Sorry, Russ. It's not.
That's okay. I'm going to talk about one right off the top here. One that Gary and I talked about. Rashad Perryman for Tampa Bay. No Chris Godwin. No Mike Evans. Rashad Perryman steps in as the number 1 wide receiver for Tampa Bay. It's a good matchup this week against the Houston Texans. Rashad Perriman's got to be pretty close to the top, if not at the top of the waiver wire pick list this week.
Absolutely. And he's one of those guys where he's in real experienced leagues. He's not available. But then you talk to 4 or 5 people out of 10. They're like, yeah, Perriman's there. Should I grab him? So definitely worth talking about. I'd definitely rank him at number 1. If AJ Brown's there, then you have yourself a dilemma because these are 2 guys playing like wide receiver 1s that you don't have anywhere near your wide receiver 1 spot. So you're fortunate enough to pick these guys off waivers, or if you're in super deep leagues, you drafted them in like dynasty leagues. But Perriman, he's going to be spoon-fed this week, and he's going to be like that anomaly player that could be in the top 5 or 6. Just based on pure volume because they have no one else to throw to. There's other players like Boston Scott for the Eagles people are considering picking up. We're kind of waiting on Kerryon Johnson news unless you've heard something today on him. Patrick Laird played really badly last week, but he's getting volume. Chris Conley I like a lot, a wide receiver that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to, I think, lean on in Week 16. I think he's a good pickup and play. But yeah, Perryman by far have to rank, I'd say, number one if available.
Now, I've got my text line here, and I've got some questions that are on it and some other comments that are on there. 888-368-1580 is that text line. But I want to talk to you about 2020. 2020, because one of the things that Sleeper U is all about, and the FantasyFootballShow.com is all about, is providing year-round fantasy content. Sleeper U is a little bit more dedicated, I do believe, to the Dynasty owners. Fantasy Football Show talks everything fantasy football related. Why don't you tell people a little bit more about those two things before we dive into this conversation?
Yeah, so I created SleeperU.com before I created thefantasyfootballshow.com. And sleeperu.com is basically just the written content, the rankings, the year-round dynasty content, your written stuff, your rankings, your trade calculators, all that stuff, the draft board, mock drafts. I have mock drafts on there. Then I decided to create thefantasyfootballshow.com, which you can find on youtube.com/thefantasyfootballshow. Is the video format, kind of like taking what we do here, Russ, in this radio environment, wrapping it up into a video show, and basically creating a show almost every other day or every day. If I don't create a video and post a video, I'm doing a live. Other than this last week when I was sick, I've gone live about 4 to 5 times a week, and when I go live, sometimes I go live for 2 hours, 1 hour, 3 hours. 24 hours straight, twice. I went 24 hours straight. But it's an awesome way to get your content in video format. So if you want anything video related to fantasy football, go to thefantasyfootballshow.com, and anything written, go to sleeperu.com.
Awesome right there. And Smitty's been joining me like Gary Davenport for like 16 years on this radio program. We're putting the close on year number 23, the longest running terrestrial radio fantasy football show in the world.
In the world.
And greatly appreciate all the time you've given us over the last 16 years, my friend.
Hey, Russ, I essentially made a niche for myself by doing bold predictions on the radio show here. From all the way back to Arian Foster, and those predictions that I dropped on your show help create a niche for me in the fantasy industry. So I owe you the thanks. And every year I look forward to the show, and I'm gracious for you to let me stream my entire hour on youtube.com/the fantasy football show so that all of my people can get to know you, and we can do this, stream this show and get content out there. So I appreciate it, man.
Well, one of the reasons why I've loved having you on the show for the last 16 years is because you do have those bold predictions. One thing that I've always said to people on radio, have an opinion, don't be afraid to speak it. If you're wrong, own it. If you're right, revel in it. And you know what? You're going to revel in some, you're going to be wrong in others, but have that opinion and back it up with why you think that way. And you always have, my friend. So I greatly appreciate that.
Yep, thank you.
2020. It's going to be an interesting year. Christian McCaffrey pretty much locked in as the number one overall pick in most fantasy football leagues, unless you play in 2 quarterback leagues. If you play in a 2 quarterback league, how soon do you take Lamar Jackson in 2020? I
mean, in a 2 QB league heading into this past year, Mahomes was in the top 5, top 6, but now you got Lamar, Mahomes. I think Watson can also be a first rounder, but you wouldn't be crazy to take Lamar Jackson number 1 overall in a 2 QB league. For people that don't play 2 QB leagues, it's very, very different. And your initial reaction, if you're doing one for the first time, is don't go QB early. But when you're starting 2 QBs and you can have, a Lamar Jackson and an Aaron Rodgers, or a Lamar and a Breeze, you have such an advantage over everybody else. So I wouldn't be shocked if Lamar Jackson goes in the first round in early mock drafts that are 1 QB leagues. So he's definitely top 5 in 2 QB leagues.
Okay, yeah. In the 1 QB league, I would have to agree with you. Lamar Jackson most likely is going to go towards the middle to back end of round number 1, if I had to guess right now. Maybe he flies into the top half of round 2 if it's a smaller league, but it's not going to be much further than that. He's Smitty from the FantasyFootballShow.com. He's streaming live on YouTube as we speak. We're going to step aside. We'll come back, continue on the conversation, continue our crystal ball into 2020.
Okay, we'll put that on hold there because that music's so loud. Sorry, guys. I know we're talking about a little off-topic stuff. So, all right, let's get into it. Q&A, what do you got for me? While we wait for Russ to come back, and we'll probably dig into some Week 16 stuff. Answer some questions. Get some of your super chats on here. Oh, sorry, Aaron. I see your super chat right now. Aaron with the super. Thank you.
Thank you for the super chat. May I have another?
Where do you rank DeAndre Washington with Jacobs out? Would you play him over ? Who would you play him over? If he's starting and getting all the work, I feel like he's in Week 16 with all the craziness going on, a low-end wide receiver 2, meaning do I start him over a Lev Bell? Maybe. Do I start him over... let me see real quickly. Just waiting. Let me look at some players here. Let's look at some Week 16 rankings, and I'll tell you who I think I would start them over. So running backs, from obviously McCaffrey down to Ingram or Aaron Jones or Kamara or Miles Sanders or Kenyon Drake, probably even Melvin Gordon, maybe Kareem Hunt, Todd Gurley. That's 17 running backs. You start getting into where Jacobs was ranked hurt, which is between 11 and 18. Then you start looking at where Washington becomes viable. Like Eckler, do I start Eckler? Probably over Washington, yeah. Lindsey, you start getting around running back 18 to 20. You got Lindsey, you got Marlon Mack, you got Devonta Freeman. That's where I start considering Washington. So that's like low-end running back 2 territory. But Jacobs is out. That sucks. And I'm going to take him out of my Week 16 rankings right now. And hit save. Publish. Boom. I needed to fix that because he was sitting there. Still ranked. My number 1 running back for Week 16, McCaffrey, clear cut. But Chris Carson, Elliott Barkley, Derrick Henry, I still get questions about Derrick Henry. Why are people thinking about benching Derrick Henry? If he's playing, you put him in. He's like a top 5 running back start, and people are like questioning about, do I play Henry? Is he okay? If he's playing, you play him. He's top 5 according to every ranking I've seen out there. But Carson, Elliott, Barkley, Henry, Joe Mixon's around 6-7 for running back rankings. Cook you put around 7 to 10. He's hurt. You don't know his volume, but you still have to rank him in the top 10. But I don't rank him ahead of Henry. I don't rank him ahead of Barkley. I don't rank him ahead of Mixon this week. Fournette you could rank ahead of Cook maybe. Chubb maybe. Ingram probably not, but Ingram is starting to get there. Aaron Jones over Cook, probably. Aaron Jones is hit and miss, but dude, when he hits, he hits. Kamara's outside the top 10. It sucks, but he is. And I don't know what this means for his 2020 value. He's a guy maybe Russ and I'll talk about. But Alvin Kamara has potential to disappoint in 2020, but he also has potential to do really good. So he's one of those players where I'm looking to target him at the right value. Kamara's going to be one interesting player to talk about in the offseason. And the offseason starts now, really. So we can talk about it. I'll do a video on it. But Kamara needs to be talked about in a major way because he's going to be doubted to an extreme degree. And that's warranted. He deserves to be doubted. He's had a horrible season. I put a lot of stock in Kamara, and he screwed me. But when there's a serious amount of doubt around a player that has top 5 running back potential, it's time to say, hey, where is the line in the sand where you draft this guy and make sure he's on your team because the value is so good and the upside is so great and the risk is so low. OJ Howard or Waller, come on. I understand OJ Howard's in a good position to get targets, but Waller is Waller, bro.
FantasyFootballShow.com and SleeperU.com. Smitty, 2020, looking ahead into that.
Yeah.
Who are some of the players that disappointed this year that you're expecting have really good bounce back potential next year?
So we're just talking about that, Russ, right before you jump back on with it. And one player I was saying has to be talked about is Alvin Kamara. And Alvin Kamara has disappointed so many people, including me. I had a lot of invested in Alvin Kamara, a lot of hype around him, and I missed on him. He was one player that I missed. A lot of people did. But at some point, you got to draw a line where you say that a player is so going to be undervalued that you have to start looking at him as a monster, upside type player. And Kamara could very well disappoint in 2020. He very well could. But I think he's going to be doubted by so many people. He's going to be in a very low-risk territory. So I think Alvin Kamara is going to fit the bill like no other player heading into 2020.
How about your thoughts on a guy like David Montgomery, the rookie running back for Chicago this year? A lot of high expectations for him coming in. Really did not live up to the hype at all. You think that there's a chance that he jumps up next year?
I think that's another great name to toss out. And I think that because everyone's so scared, I mean, he's not doing anything now. So I don't think anybody's going to walk into 2020 and have him highly ranked. He was doubted a lot, even though there was a lot of buzz about him. Some people were ranking him in the 4th round, and rightly so. They should have been ranking him later. I was ranking him high. A lot of people were excited about him. And I don't think anybody missed on this talent-wise. It was coaching and usage. And if I think a coaching change needs to happen for me to buy in completely. But he will be so doubted that I'm going to be taking some stabs in some leagues and trying to acquire him in some dynasty formats because the talent is there. But I am not confident, though, at all, Russ, that coaching staff's going to make any changes that's going to have him consistent in 2020. So until there's a coaching change, I'm doubting him.
How about running backs that possibly rank really high right now that have a chance of being busts next year? I can make the argument for and against Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler, in standard scoring formats, is the 7th highest scoring fantasy running back so far in 2019. He's done it despite the fact that he's only had 119 carries through 14 games. He's only gained 500 rushing yards. He's only had 3 rushing touchdowns, but he's caught 78 passes for 892 yards and 8 receiving touchdowns. Does Austin Eckler, with the probable loss of Melvin Gordon during the offseason, step in and be a solid fantasy number 1? Or is he one of those guys that probably next year people are going to take a little too high and could disappoint?
I think that he's going to be worth the early grab. I don't know about anything close to like first-round material, but if he starts going like in the late 2nd, early 3rd, I think that's very, very warranted. And he's got the kind of upside that even when he's sharing carries, he's such a viable wide receiver option that he's a running back 2 right now, and he's not even the starter. So I really, really like him. But yes, he's a potential injury-prone type player that's going to be shoved into a high-volume situation, and that can oftentimes lead to like a late-season injury. So he could dominate early, then get hurt and disappoint people. I think another name to throw out, and people are not going to like to hear this, and I was super high on him heading into the end of last year and into this year, but Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is such a big body, and he's getting work so much. I worry about him staying healthy for another full season. So if I own Derrick Henry in Dynasty, I'm looking not to get out and sell low, but to try and maximize my value in what I've got by acquiring this guy in, like, let's say Dynasty or a keeper league format, and just getting the best value you can now and trading into a safer lateral type player that has a little more longevity. Derrick Henry's such a big dude. I don't anticipate him having 2 and 3 and 4 more elite years at 16 start type workload. He's going to get hurt at some point. He's just too big of a body to hit the ground over and over and over to stay healthy for 3 and 4 years at 16 starts a season.
Now, a guy that right now ranks 5th overall in fantasy scoring for the running back position, Aaron Jones of the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Jones still not getting as many touches as I believe that he deserves to get, but he's putting up some big fantasy points this year. He's second in the NFL at running back for touchdowns with 17. That only trails Christian McCaffrey's 18. Aaron Jones, going to be worth a late first-round pick next year or someone that could disappoint?
I think people will be cautious enough to not make him a first-rounder, but if he does go in the first round, he's got so much risk and inconsistency attached to his name that he would definitely be a burn candidate for you if you're taking him that early. But I think that he'll have a lot of doubters, and that should help him be ranked more along the medium risk, but still close to high risk, but really still really good medium to high upside. So I would say he's definitely a good candidate to disappoint, though. Same along the same lines of Henry, just somebody that I think is getting volume that I don't see them having consistency for 3-4 straight years in a row. You know, this is a 1 or 2 year thing where a guy's like Henry or Aaron Jones can get 16 straight starts and be amazing. I just see them getting hurt, especially Aaron Jones has such an injury history. It's kind of remarkable that he's stayed healthy all year.
Let's turn our attention to the wide receiver position because really Michael Thomas has solidified himself as the top fantasy wide receiver with a remarkable season this year. But you got guys like Chris Godwin, Kenny Golladay, Mike Evans, DeAndre Hopkins, Amari Cooper, Cooper Kupp, Julio Jones, DJ Chark, and DJ Moore actually rounding out the top 10 in fantasy points scored in 2019 so far. Would next year be safe to say that because of the uncertainty at the wide receiver position that maybe you do want to go running backs early again in your fantasy drafts next year?
I think it's going to make it an attractive proposition when you have a guy like Chark, finishing the year hurt, who's going to be doubted. You got guys like Cooper Kupp that have shown that they can be top 5 to 10 wide receivers, but can also get hurt and disappoint you. Amari Cooper get hurt and disappoint you. Odell Beckham Jr. is going to rank way outside the top. Like, you're going to have so many options at wide receiver. You're right. This is going to be a weird year, and it's going to make for some strange mock draft data. I have a feeling that January data, mock drafts, January and February mock draft data, is going to look so far different than August data. It's going to be unlike any other year we've ever seen. It's going to be near impossible to please anybody, Russ, because when I put out rankings, especially on Instagram or on a social platform, and I do, hey guys, here are my early top 10 wide receivers, you get blasted from every angle from people because no one's happy with your top 10 rankings. It's going to be such a crazy offseason to rank receivers. I'm not looking forward to my first wide receiver ranking post. I think it's going to get so much crazy attention. And how can you have him ranked here? How can you have him ranked outside the top 10? It's going to be crazy, Russ.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on that one because looking at the wide receivers, based on what they've done this year, Devontae Parker, Stephon Diggs, Tyler Lockett, all guys that finished in the top 15. Guys outside of the top 15, you've got, Tyreek Hill, you've got Odell Beckham Jr., you've got Mike Williams, you've got Devontae Adams. Now, granted, injuries did play a part in a lot of these, but at the same time, once a player gets injured once, it's kind of hard to forget that he got injured, especially if you drafted him.
Yeah, and you're going to have a lot of people debating Godwin and Mike Evans, and some people just can't buy into either one of those guys, or they buy into both of them, or people get pissed off because you have Mike Evans ranked ahead of Godwin. Both of them hurt, disappointing. Dalvin Cook, where are you going to rank him heading into 2020? I've got people doubting Barkley until last week. Now Barkley's going to remain that top 3 or 4 lock. But you had people before last week talking about Barkley falling out of their top 5 overall. It's going to be a strange January and February ranking these players. But I think you're right. Wide receiver is going to be where it's craziest.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that one. And I'm thinking currently, my current thought process is I'm going to probably go running back in 2020 with my first two picks, depending as to where I select. It all depends as to where really you select. Where do you take Michael Thomas? Where do you take Lamar Jackson? Where do you take Patrick Mahomes? So those are some of the wild cards that get thrown into the mix there.
Yep.
Smitty, we're going to put you on hold, bring you up on the other side.
Okay.
Station. You've got questions from your group. I've got some questions from my group. We'll go ahead and whip those out
okay.
in the next segment.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Gurley's going to be a tough guy to rank. I'm not going to go near Gurley next year. But I didn't go near him this year. I'm playing against Lamar, says Aaron Mohammed, in the championship game, but still projected to win by 10. Hope my Watson and Hopkins stack holds up. Well, you got a great stack there to go up against Lamar, so I wouldn't feel too worried. Yahoo has me projected, says Jimmy G, to win by 20. But Fantasy Pros only gives you 40% chance. What's up, Alex Cruz in the house? Yeah, Eckler. Russ makes a great point. You're going to see my mock draft content here shortly. I'm going to do a bunch of mock drafts. But McCaffrey, Barkley, I think are my 1 and 2. McCaffrey 1, Barkley 2. Elliott, I would say, is probably 3. Dalvin Cook is going to be 4 for me. And I don't know that I'm going to have anybody but a wide receiver like Mike Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins rolling in at my number 4 or 5 spot after Cook. So at 5, it's probably going wide receiver. I don't know that I have any running backs there. I don't like Derrick Henry at 5. I like Derrick Henry at the tail end of the first round, which he probably won't last. People are going to take Henry at 5, 6, 7. And I'm not saying he won't be worth it for 3, 4, 5 weeks into the season, half the season. But I just worry about making Derrick Henry my number 1 overall player heading into 2020. I just feel like it's a risky proposition. Same thing with Leonard Fournette. Same thing with Aaron Jones. Same thing with Nick Chubb. If Hunt is playing elsewhere, and you don't know what's going to happen with Kareem Hunt, probably will be elsewhere, but you don't know. They could extend him, and he could be happy there, and be looking to keep things really, normal for him. A lot of change and things going on in his life. He might be looking to stay in Cleveland. Nick Chubb could get hurt in the last week. We don't know what's going to happen. But I think Chubb is going to be a risky first rounder. Carson's a risky first rounder. Look what the dude can't hold on to the football. But is he worth top 12 to 15 running back value? Absolutely. Top 12 to 15 overall value. He's worth that. He's just risky. Melvin Gordon. Some people might rank him really high in the offseason, especially if he lands elsewhere. And he's starting for a very decent offense. He's going to get a lot of hype. Mike Thomas is nasty. Aaron Mohammed, and he's going to rank in my top 5 to 6 for 2020. So I'm going to go McCaffrey, Barkley, Zeke, Cook, Mike Thomas. That's my top 5. And don't be shocked if Lamar or Patrick Mahomes is in my top 10. But I'll preface and caveat that shot and tell you that if I can get away with drafting either or both later, I will. Okay, but when it comes to rankings, I don't shy away from putting the best player in the best spot or putting the players where I rank them in the right spots and letting you guys cipher through my rankings and say, okay, this makes sense that he has him here, but I don't need to take him there. I get a lot of people upset on my rankings on sleeperu.com where I put a guy like Lamar Jackson at number 7 or 8 or Mahomes last year in the top 12. And people are like, how can you do that? Well, that's where I rank them. It doesn't mean you take them there. I'm trying to be ahead of the curve for you. You got to use some common sense with ADP when you're drafting and not take a guy I rank at 3 or 4 at running back and take him at 5 overall because I have him at 3 or 4. And then everyone's like, you took him way too early. Don't take him early. Use ADP to your advantage. Mostert or Singletary for flex. Going, roll your dice, man. Crap. Probably Singletary, but Mostert's capable. That's a tough one. Any see Roethlisberger looking like Fat Santa? Oh, God, Roethlisberger looked like he gained like 25, 30 pounds. He was huge. Sanders in the second round. That's high, Legion. That's a little high right now. I'm not saying it won't work out, but that's just high for right now. He could definitely climb there.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com, Smitty, you got questions from your group? I've got a couple from mine.
One comment that I think is worth mentioning is somebody saying, did you see how much weight Ben Roethlisberger put on? I'm not sure if you saw him on the sidelines of that last game, but he looked like he's about 30, 40 pounds overweight.
Well, remember, Ben Roethlisberger, I want to say at one point was like 260 pounds,
yeah.
And then they had him slimmed down to like 235. He's always been a big guy, but yeah, I can easily see Ben Roethlisberger putting on the weight. Could be that Ben's actually seriously thinking about retirement. I wouldn't blame him on that. He's got Super Bowl ring. He's got a great career there in Pittsburgh, and you have to wonder how many times can he break down and continue trying to go out there and put his body at the risk.
Yeah, I have one question here from Austin. He says he needs 2 wide receivers for Week 16: Devontae Parker, DJ Moore, AJ Brown, T.Y. Hilton.
Wow.
I'm gonna say Parker and AJ Brown are just, I can't bench either one of those guys. DJ Moore is a tough sit for me if I'm picking 2, but I'm starting AJ Brown and Devontae Parker, but that's me.
I'm going to have to agree with you. A.J. Brown gets New Orleans, which is not a great matchup, but the numbers that he's been putting up of late have just been phenomenal. And Devontae Parker, same thing. His numbers have been phenomenal, and he gets a good matchup against Cincinnati this week. DJ Moore, granted, he's the number 1 wide receiver for Carolina. They're taking on Indianapolis in the Dome. At least you have no weather concerns. T.Y. Hilton taking on Carolina. But T.Y. Hilton really hasn't done as much as I wanted T.Y. Hilton to do this year. He's had injury issues.
And Greer is starting this week, right?
Yeah.
So that's another concern for Moore.
Will Greer is going to be the quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. So I'd agree with you. I'd say Devontae Parker and A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
I've got one here from the Hefty Lefty. They're projected for the same, but the matchups are opposite. DK Metcalf against Arizona or John Brown against New England.
Oh, wow. I'm going to probably say DK safer, but I like both, and I think that John Brown's so tough to sit. I like John Brown a lot. I just feel like he's really doing well.
Well, one thing I've noticed with the Arizona Cardinals is that Patrick Peterson can usually take out one wide receiver, but then the secondary is unable to really take out anyone else for the most part. So I'm thinking DK Metcalf this week for Seattle. Seattle wants to win this game. Seattle wants to lock up a high playoff seed. They want to get a first-round bye, and they need to win this week against Arizona. John Brown, one thing I don't like about the Buffalo-New England matchup, if Buffalo wins, Buffalo could still win that division. New England could end up losing that division with the way that they've been playing. One thing I've learned over the last 20 years of watching the New England Patriots, do not bet against them when their back is to the wall. And they're at home. They're taking on Buffalo. This could be a statement game for them. It was amazing how well Buffalo played them a few weeks ago when they met up in Buffalo. But I think New England, they're going to figure out, you don't bet against Bill Belichick when the game has got this much importance to it. So I lean towards DK Metcalf as well. Hefty Lefty has another one for us. Same question, different week. Just still polling the experts. Patriots defense or the Ravens defense? Patriots at home against Buffalo, Ravens on the road at Cleveland. What do you think?
Ravens. Give me that Cleveland matchup.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Ravens as well. Even though Cleveland totally surprised the Baltimore Ravens earlier this year and beat them up, in a surprise win, I don't think that that's going to happen twice. The Baltimore Ravens can solidify the first round bye and top seed in the AFC with a victory this week. I think that Baltimore goes out and really takes it to Cleveland, takes it out on Cleveland. So I'm going to go with the Ravens defense.
Okay,
as well.
I've got a question here from Jordan who says, pick 3, A.J. Brown, Allen Robinson, Miles Sanders, Nick Chubb, full PPR. He's got a second part to the question, but we'll start with that one. A.J. Brown and Miles Sanders, Nick Chubb, and Allen Robinson. You got to pick 3.
Wow. Who is the odd man out here? Allen Robinson has just been on a tear as of late for the Chicago Bears. Allen Robinson is in the top 11 fantasy wide receivers in terms of fantasy points scored. But it's so hard to trust after what we saw with the Chicago Bears early on in the season. It's so hard to trust them. And the weather could be a factor there in Chicago as they take on Kansas City. On the plus side for Robinson is the fact that they're playing Kansas City. Most likely, Trubisky's going to be throwing a ton of footballs in the air because I don't think that Chicago can really keep up with Kansas City. Miles Sanders has been a really nice surprise as of late. He's done some great things as a receiving running back. The PPR aspect makes him a little tempting for Philadelphia as they are taking on the Dallas Cowboys in Philadelphia this week. A.J. Brown, we've talked about A.J. Brown already. And Nick Chubb, how do you sit Nick Chubb with the season that he's had so far, even when Kareem Hunt has come back? You've got no bad options here, but if I'm going to sit one of these 3 guys, it's going to have to be Allen Robinson, because Jordan Howard's most likely not going to play. That means Miles Sanders is in a feature running back role. Ty always goes to the running back. And between Robinson and Brown, I just feel a little better about Brown. Yeah,
I'm going to have to agree with you. It's tough sitting Allen Robinson here, but A.J. Brown, Sanders, Nick Chubb, I got to roll with those. And then it's PPR, Higbee or Hollister, and then Matt Ryan or Fitzmagic.
Hold on. Who was the first set of questions?
Higbee or Hollister at tight end.
Wow.
Matt Ryan or Fitzpatrick at QB.
Even though Fitzpatrick has got the better matchup and, it could be a little bit of a revenge game as he did used to play for the Cincinnati Bengals a long time ago, I just can't sit Matt Ryan. The Atlanta Falcons, they're at home. They're against Jacksonville. Jacksonville's been a leaky sieve of a defense. I got to go Ryan at the quarterback position. For the tight end, no tight end has been hotter than Higbee over the last 3 weeks. With Gerald Everett out, he's been the one guy that you can really rely on. Hollister has been very good as well. And correct me if I'm wrong, Hollister gets the Arizona Cardinals, the worst team in the NFL against opposing tight ends, correct?
Yeah. That's a tough.
So if I'm going to have to choose one of them, I'm going to have to go with Hollister. I just can't buy into Higbee constantly putting up the big numbers when Brandon Cooks, Cooper Kupp, and Robert Woods are all healthy.
Yeah, I think it's a safe play given the matchup. So I'd definitely probably go Hollister this week. And then Matt Ryan or Fitzpatrick, I think you could toss a coin on that one. But, Ryan feels safer. Maybe Fitzpatrick's kind of like your bigger swing if you need more risk, I guess, with your upside.
Right. Hefty Lefty's got this one as well. Standard scoring, Hollister or O.J. Howard. That's an easy one to me. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Hollister over O.J. Howard. Mm-hmm. Granted, O.J. Howard has to be involved more because of the injuries to Evans and Godwin. But no, after what I've seen out of O.J. Howard this season and what I've seen the Arizona Cardinals defense allow opposing tight ends, I'm going to go Hollister.
Okay. And Russ, we were talking about this when you were on commercial. So my top 5 my top 5 overall players for next year are McCaffrey, Barkley, Zeke Elliott, then Dalvin Cook, because Dalvin Cook, is hurt, and you just kind of wonder a little bit about next year. He just moves him down to 4. And then the next player up for me is Mike Thomas at number 5, not a running back. So who is your number 6 if you were to say that is an acceptable top 5? Who would be the 6th player off the board? Would it be a wide receiver like Hopkins? Would you turn to a running back like Derrick Henry or Lamar Jackson or another wide receiver or another running back? Who's going to be number 6 for you?
Number 6, Nick Chubb.
Okay.
No question to me. Nick Chubb, because I think Kareem Hunt only signed a 1-year deal with Cleveland, or did he sign a 2-year deal?
Yeah, he's on a 1, but you never know what can happen there with Hunt staying. You know, maybe the market's not there for him, and maybe he likes to. He's had so much change going on in his life. Maybe he sits tight. I don't know, but that is a tough one to argue against, though. I do worry about Chubb at that type of value because I feel like he's a lot lower risk, you know, and as like a 10 or 9 overall player, 12 overall player. That's a little too high for me, but I don't blame you at all in the talent's there.
Yeah, you know, two other players I contemplated there. I contemplated Mark Ingram, and I contemplated Chris Carson. I also contemplated Derrick Henry in that. I know that when we talked a couple of weeks ago, that I had Henry in my top 5, but I'm starting to believe you might be right. Next year could be a very risky year for Derrick Henry. He's managed to stay healthy this year, something he hasn't done very often in his career. And, you know, I figure Tennessee's going to re-sign Ryan Tannehill. Are we going to get the Ryan Tannehill that played hard this year for Tennessee and put up some good numbers when he finally got the opportunity to supplant Marcus Mariota? Or are we going to get the Ryan Tannehill who was so inconsistent on a week-to-week basis when he was the Miami Dolphins?
Yeah,
so I'm a little concerned there.
Talk about potential for disappointment or just, you know, maybe proving people wrong. It's going to be a great story next year watching him progress or fall off. But where do you rank Kenyon Drake if you're talking like top, you know, 30 overall, top 25 overall, top 20 overall? Do you think Kenyon Drake walks into 2020 as a clear-cut running back, 1, or is he gonna fall off the face of the earth?
No, I think he's gonna probably be. My prediction is that the Arizona Cardinals are gonna part way with David Johnson somehow. They're gonna keep Chase Edmonds and Kenyon Drake. They're gonna have a 1-2 punch committee with Drake and Chase Edmonds, and you know, Edmonds is gonna chip in enough on Kenyon Drake's playing time that he's not going to be a running back 1. He's not even going to be a reliable running back 2, most likely. He's going to be one of those running back 3 flex options more often than not. And, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Kenyon Drake, because I always believed Kenyon Drake had plenty of skill. I mean, it was just he was on a bad Philadelphia team. He was on a bad Miami team. Kenyon Drake has got some skill set, but are they going to use him? Feature guy next year, and I just wonder about that because remember, Kenyon Drake only got an opportunity with the Arizona Cardinals because David Johnson and Chase Edmonds got injured.
It's a tough one because they traded for him, they like him, but they also loved Edmonds, and he just kind of vanished because of that injury. So I don't know what to make. I think Drake is very exciting. He's also kind of been, and I don't know if this is fair, but unfortunately it is what it is, but been tagged as a little bit injury prone. And just, you know, I don't think he's had enough opportunity to tag him as anything. So I think he really could be a gem in fantasy, but it just depends on where he gets drafted.
Okay, Smitty, we've only got a couple minutes left to go. Fantasy Challenge Week 16, who would be your 1 quarterback?
Okay, at quarterback, I'm going to roll with... give me Russell Wilson.
Okay, who are your 2 running backs?
Running backs, I'm going to say give me McCaffrey and give me Barkley.
Okay, your 2 wide receivers.
Give me Mike Thomas and give me Tyreek Hill.
Okay, and your kicker finally.
Kicker, give me Tucker. Justin Tucker.
Justin Tucker. Okay. Awesome, my friend. Let me go ahead and read to you who I have in the fantasy challenge. I'm going with Deshaun Watson, Mark Ingram, Christian McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, Michael Thomas, and Mason Crosby is my kicker on my entry. Gary has Lamar Jackson, McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Michael Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins, and Jason Myers.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens, and I'll text you and let you know. I really appreciate it, Smitty. Thank you so much. Best of luck in all of your fantasy leagues this week, and look forward to having you on again next year, my friend.
Can't wait till next year, Russ. Thanks every year, man. Appreciate it.
See you, Smitty.
All right. My music's so loud. That puts a wrap on the season for the Wednesday CBS Sports Radio show. So bummed that we're already done. But you know what? To be completely honest with you guys, I love the offseason 10 times, if not more than 10 times than the end season. I do. I love preparing for the fantasy football drafts and getting you guys into the sleepers and who to pick up, who to keep an eye on. I love that more than 10 times than I do during the year. I don't love the end season anywhere near as much. I almost, in some ways, dread the end season compared to the off season because of all the timely stuff. Like you have to do the show here. You have to do this start bench show here. You have to do waiver wires now. You have to. You just have to because it's Tuesday. You got to do waivers. I hate that timely shit. I like doing mock drafts. I like talking about the sleepers. I love letting you guys know who I think could be the next big breakout candidate at running back that no one sees coming. That's my favorite time, and I can't wait. But I do love the CBS Sports Show. I am sad that the Wednesday show is over for the year. We'll be back as we have for year 17 and year 24 total. This show's going longer than any other show in the fantasy football planet. This will be year 24, and I'll be a part of it 17 straight years. No, I don't even know if... I know there's no show on the planet, and this is on a radio show, 1580 AM, CBS Sports Radio, The Fanatic. It's not on some podcast just in the corner of the world. We're talking about terrestrial radio, 1580 AM. No show is gone 23 years. But I'd like to know what fantasy shows out there where people have done it longer than this will be my 17th year. 17 years! I think rivals really anybody. And he's been doing it, Russ, longer than I have because he's been running this show for 23. It's just cool. It's cool that we've been doing it this long. I'm out of here. I appreciate all of you. Outro music. Who is the number one super chatter of the show? I think it was Jordan and who was it? Jordan and Aaron. Aaron, do you already have a seat in the 96 league? I'm not sure if you do already. Let me know if you do, Aaron. But Aaron had the high super chat of the night before his first to have that $5. So Aaron would be the seat. If Aaron's already got a spot, then it would be Jordan. And I think MT's already got a spot. So, Smitty, can I still get a seat in the showdown? Alex, that's what we're talking about. The highest super chat of the night. As soon as the music ends. And if you super chat after, you're not going to get it. It's when I lock it in. Look at that. Jordan with a 20 spot. Jordan's buying a seat. Jordan's got his seat pretty much locked in there. Aaron Mohammed's trying to grab it. Aaron, thank you, though. I really appreciate it. Most likely, Aaron, I'm going to find a way to get you a seat anyways, because you're always avid super chatting, you and Jordan. Thanks, Legion. It's been great. Not yet, but you love one. I might give them to both of you. Right now. We both should, says Jordan. Music ends. Congrats, Jordan and Aaron. Email me, both of you. Email me right now. Email me right now so I can, and then tell me something you're gonna say to me, and email me right now so I know it's you. Hurry, Aaron. Smitty at. And Jordan, Smitty at. Email me real quick. right now, and tell me what you're saying in this chat so I can confirm it to you. It's hard to do this on YouTube because of the way this works. I want in, says Rico. All right, I'm going to check my email here from Aaron and Jordan and make sure I have their emails and I can invite them into the league. Cook or Mostert? I'm going Cook. Who's your daddy taking down the test post league? Are you winning it, Daddy? I think you are, right? Attaboy. Attaboy, who's your daddy? Who your daddy is a lifetime winner of sleeperu.com. He won a lifetime membership for taking a photo with Gail Sayers holding up a sleeperu.com sign. So, he's a monster veteran at sleeperu.com. Okay, I'm looking for the email. Where is it? You and Keto are splitting it. Good job. You can hit me on Twitter if you want. Jordan, what did you just say to me? Just so I can confirm it to you. What did you say, Jordan, in the email? Aaron Mohammed, you can hit me on Twitter. Let me see. But I still need your email. I need to enter your email, so you got to email me. Just email me real quick. It'd be a little easier. I'm waiting, and then I got to get off. Subject, what? Okay, gotcha. Okay, Jordan, so you're good. I've got you in. Let me save you into the league, and then this league is going to be crazy, by the way. My fantasy league. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, on this 96-man league, 8 copies of every player in this bad boy. Where's the showdown? It's called the Showdown. Aaron Mohammed, I'm waiting for your email. Then I'm jumping. I still got a lot of seats to give away in this league. Next stream will be, I'm going to try and do one Friday, but, okay, so Jordan, YouTube, Jordan, email address, saved. Aaron sent me an email right now. Aaron, your email has the number 13 in it, right? All that will be TBA. Where it's going to be, all that will be TBA. Aaron Mohammed. YouTube. Aaron Mohammed. Okay, you bad boys are saved and locked and loaded in your spots. Congratulations. I will see you guys later. Hopefully I'll be doing a show Friday. I don't know, maybe tomorrow night. I'm not sure. I might do a short show tomorrow night. Or maybe during the day. I might do a day show. Take it easy. I appreciate all of you. Later.